I believe that if we are honest with ourselves, that the most fascinating problem in the world is who am I? What do you mean? What do you feel when you say the word I myself?
I want to fly the train! I don't give a fuck! Oh, jeez. Hey, what's going on, man?
You keep using that phone. You don't think it is what you think it is.
Oh, jeez. Hey, what's going on? I don't give a fuck! Oh, jeez. Hey, what's going on, man? Yeah, you can't get out of it! Oh, jeez. Don't join your friends, you weirdo!
I think that I am familiar with the fact that you are going to ignore this particular problem until it swings up and bites you on the ass.
Psych, just kidding. My new catchphrase is, I don't give a fuck!
It's asking a lot to believe that the problem is going to fix itself.
Guess what, bitch?
Our technology and our numbers have both reached a state where inadvertently we can pose a danger to the global environment, especially through the atmosphere.
The whales have a 15-foot penis. Are you a pervert or something? Okay.
Now, nobody pretends we understand everything about the global climate.
I didn't cut out. You heard me. Google it yourself.
There are feedbacks, some of which you warm the Earth a little bit, and the tendency will be to further increase the temperature, so-called positive feedback.
What I'm saying is the planet's on fucking fire.
We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best of our energies and skills. Because that challenge is one that we're willing to accept, one we are unwilling to postpone, and one we intend to win.
Checking all the settings. Check the right one.
Check, Mike, yes! What's up, heathens? How ya doing? Tonight, we're going to be taking a look at a sermon by Brad Harrub. Huh? Oh, okay. So we're going to be taking a look at a sermon by Brad Harrub where he is going to use the human population as it exists today as evidence against the idea of an old Earth, or at least an old age, like timeline for human evolution. So we're going to be looking at a sermon today, see what's all fucky about it, if you want to fuck around and find out why Brad Harrub is completely wrong in his assumption that the Earth is young, then please stay tuned. All right, mafia or not mafiosos. Sorry, some of the mafiosos are in the chat. All right, heathens. Well, before we begin our stream tonight, we do have a plethora of things to go through. We've got Today I Learned, Shitty Ass Science, as well as comments. But before we get into that, I do want to let you guys know, which Quentin's already... Oh, crap. No, they didn't hear it. That was the kegerator one. Oh, no, that's just because of how long it is. Like, there was a guy there before. But anyways, sorry about that there, Quentin. Quentin, doing our first super chat tonight, says, making up for last week's tide, plus adding this week, nothing like technical difficulties with GE to start to straight a stream. Well, yeah, let's get this stream straight, okay? Anyways, a portion of all super chats, memberships, and any revenue generated by this channel goes to a charity. Last month, we were able to donate $600 to Turning Point Autism Foundation, the Turning Point Autism Foundation that provides services to autistic people. And so this month, we're actually going to be donating a portion of the revenue generated here to the Recovering from Religion Foundation. We helped the line last month run kind of a charity drive for them, but this month what we're going to be doing is donating a portion of our proceeds here to that particular foundation. They provide a lot of great services for anybody out there that really needs it. Most of the time, though, it's going to be either atheist, agnostic atheist, or secular type people that's looking for help, you know, after coming out of religion, or maybe they're still in religion. They have this need for some kind of counseling or something like that. They provide these very essential services. And we got Uhan Roderick, money for crappy people to do crappy things with. Which is it? Crap, I don't think the notification came up yet, but anyways, Uhan's there. Oh, you heard it? They should be able to. The desktop audio, yeah, it's set up correctly, so they should. Okay, as long as it came up. Okay, yeah. So we another thing is that we've got new alerts tonight. So if you want to find all the alerts, you've got to donate, you know, through the super chat system in order to find them. We've even got a special alert for going to hell, and I'm sure that everybody can think about what particular thing that is. But if you want to go to hell, you're going to have to donate that specific amount of money. And if nobody's done it by the end of the stream, I'll reveal what it is. But I'm sure that you guys can figure out what amount of money will send you to hell. There's also some other things like the kegerator. You know, if for anybody that's out there, you would know.
Woo! That's KC's money.
That KC, there's still some that are the same up there.
Hey, I don't know if y'all know this, but every time you donate, the Lord cries. Woo! Bear money.
Sorry, Lisa, that was not the going to hell. The going to hell one. So there's multiple alerts for each level. Generally, it's the $2.99, $4.99, $9.99, $19.99, and 40 whatever up.
Listen, donating this much money only secures your seat in hell.
Eric found it. Way to go there, Eric. Eric was just doing a test there. He got it. Quentin found out what the $2 alert for. Lisa was trying to reserve her seat in hell. Also, I'm getting my first COVID shot on Monday. Woohoo, Lisa. All right. Limited light. I have Aaron Raw hair. Aaron Raw hair. Right, I'm getting there. So, as you all know, we're currently trying to build our house.
That's for the kegerator.
Currently, right now, we're trying to build our house, and one of the things that we've really wanted to do was set up a really great room for us to work from, both here on the YouTube channel and otherwise. But one of the things that I'm going to be putting in there is this thing called a kegerator, where I can have beer on tap.
Beer money.
And it'll be like a refrigerator, but then it'll have a tap on top where I can just get beer however I need to. So the beer money is the beer money, and the kegerator money is going to that. Well, I mean, technically a portion of it's still going to charity, but you understand what I'm saying. I'm probably going to be using whatever excess GE money I have to get a kegerator whenever we get settled into our house. So the kegerator sounds, I just thought that would be a fun way to for you guys to have fun here on the stream, directly interact with us here. But Daniel M says, David says good night. He got a toy ambulance. That's a cool toy ambulance there, David. I hope you have fun with it, bud. I hope you have a great weekend, and hope you have a good night. Sleep well. Uhan says, make a noise for me, bro, Cephas. So, all right. Well, I think that's all the announcements. Monday, we're going to have Brad Harrub here, who is going to be talking about how dinosaurs went extinct and his whole idea about that. Elizabeth Richardson says, I'm house hunting to buy a house. Very bad market for buying right now. But anyway, one of the houses I looked at had a bar in the basement complete with a bar tap. Yeah. Curly Blanket says, I have a kegerator and it's awesome. I know they're awesome and I can't wait to get one.
Maybe you should quit drinking all that beer, GE.
Okay, so that was I forgot to mention that was a secret one that I think Curly Blanket just found, where you can get me to tell myself to stop drinking so much, which well, I mean, it's Josephus without his glasses.
Listen, donating this much money only secures your seat in hell.
Oh shit, somebody else is going to hell. Junie the Apostate going to hell. This is for all the unbelievers. You guys are so awesome. Y'all are going to make this month great. Our house got pushed back a little bit, so y'all making this month great so that we could donate a lot of money to the Recovering from Religion Foundation is just going to be awesome. So, okay. Are y'all ready to get into the Today I Learns? Get on with the stream here?
I'm ready.
You ready? All right. Here we go. Today I learned. Ha-ha! Didn't fuck up. All right. Here we go. Let's get to this Today I Learned. So this one was actually provided to me by Drew's Book Reviews, who's a member here on the channel, Mafioso. And he gave me this image right here that says, when a male octopus finds a mate, he rips off his junk and throws it at the female octopus so she can inseminate herself. Then the male grows new junk. If that isn't the most epic way to tell someone to go fuck themselves, I don't know what is. Yeah, I know, right? But here's the thing. The people that I'm going to say, hey, go fuck yourself, I do not want to throw my dick at them, okay? Nor do I want them to procreate with my dick. So, but I do think that if humans had this ability, it would be quite weird. You're in an office setting, it's like, you know what, Phil? Go fuck yourself. And you hit him in the face, and it's, eat a dick, Phil. I think that applying this via CRISPR to the human population can only make things better. I mean, that's all I'm gonna say. All right, so let's see. Let's get to the Today I Learned fact here. Oh shit, next on Today I Learned, I'm gonna blow your eyes out with fucking giant text. Shit. Today I learned of George Remus, who, after being released from jail for bootlegging, murdered his estranged wife in broad daylight. She had stolen his fortune and attempted to have him killed after running off with a corrupt federal agent. He was acquitted by a jury after only 19 minutes of deliberation. Can you imagine that jury? Like, in the jury, it's like, damn, you know what? I can't say I blame him. I don't think he did nothing wrong. Do you? Let's take a vote. Anybody who thinks he did anything wrong in this situation? Obviously, he should have definitely been found guilty, but I don't know why they found him, or they acquitted him after 19 minutes. Honestly, it's probably because he's white, you know. It's hard to blame him. Even KC, my own wife, is like, it's kind of hard to blame this motherfucker. I might have shot that bitch too. Oh, okay. That's a good point, honey. She said that she don't do shit like this, so she don't get killed. All right, next on Today I Learned, and this was actually pretty cool, I found in our science. Genetically engineered grass cleanses soil of toxic pollutants left by military explosives, new research shows. What they don't tell you, though, and this is a bit of shitty-ass science, is that they then use those chemicals to create their own bombs, and then it's just going to be a really bad M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong movie here in a few months, because this grass is going to take over. It's going to build IEDs everywhere, and you step foot on some kind of playing field and you're just going to fucking explode, and there's no reason why. The slightest bit of pressure and the ground is just going to explode underneath you, and we're not going to know why. Wouldn't that be kind of a crazy way to like protect your lawn against people like fucking walking through it and shit? It's like, do not walk on my lawn. I'm warning you. Oh yeah, motherfucker. Why is that? We would have the cops called out to us, honey. Landmine. Be careful where you step or get fucked. And then we have a catapult on our front porch that launches dildos at them, and it's like, yeah, and it's like, we're octopus people, motherfucker. The fuck off our lawn. Go fuck yourself. Hey Bill, had your daily dick yet? Anyways, all right. So I know shitty ass science isn't necessarily my section, but I felt like that needed to be said. Needed is subjective there. All right. So do you know what's next? Comments of the day. Prepare to face palm yourself in the next week. Woo, bear money. All right. Get these comments done. We got some really, really good ones this week. We got Daniel M with the super chat saying, if that happens with the grass, the last thing that goes through your mind is your asshole. That's an interesting way to put that right there. All right, so first up on the comments. Delusional Freemason liar. Humans are aliens, you fool. We was brought here captive with the fallen angels. You believe all the lies of this earth. This was on my debate video about whether or not God exists. I have no fucking clue as to why this person felt the need to tell us that we're aliens brought here with the fallen angels.
Damn it, Janet.
Fucking Janet. Damn it, yeah. You gotta say it though. Damn it, Janet. Go fuck off. Throw a dildo. All right, and then the next one, which I'm guessing the Janet found this next video first and left this, and she said, "You really are a blue blood Cain spurn with your lying foul mouth, but you can't put a sentence together without using foul language." Time will tell, delusional fool. Now, you can say a lot about my language, okay? I swear like a sailor, I have a dirty mouth, whatever the fuck you want to say. I do not shit talk chickens, though, okay? No, it's definitely not. I definitely don't do the bird thing. I shit talk squids and then ripping off their junk, or octopi, whoever the fuck. Not chickens. Chickens are fine by me. I love their nuggets. I love their breasts. I love their fingers. Yeah, I love all of that shit. Everything a chicken does is good, except whenever you fight chickens, and that's a little illegal, and they give you like some kind of disease.
Maybe you should quit drinking all that beer, GE.
Nope, except for right now, Eric Hamion says, "Buck, buck." That's actually a pretty good one, huh? We should ask him tomorrow. Do you guys hear GE over there? I mean, John, y'all wouldn't know him by that name. Let's see. I Heart Dog says, "Here's to chickens and foul language." So that's what I gotta say. Go cluck yourself. That's my foul language right there. To Timothy, what the fuck ever? Shut the fuck up. What do you say? There you go. I forgot I added that one too. Shit. I didn't tell you all the good ones. I don't know. I mean, she said I had foul language too, but I don't have that. So, I mean, I'm not sure what she meant. Janet, if you could come and leave your shitty comments on another video, I'd appreciate it. I doubt she'd make it this far in, though. This guy, Fight Film, says, "Take this video down. You're making atheists look really dumb." I have to say this. At least they spelled everything correctly in the comment. And no, use the correct your. I mean, I have to say, just start off with all the good compliments for this comment. You didn't fuck it up. But also, especially in that video, I'm definitely not making atheists look dumb. I mean, I don't even know how you would...
Maybe you should quit drinking all that beer, GE.
Jesse Shodel says foul language.
Maybe you should quit drinking all that beer, GE.
Damn, everybody tell me to quit drinking. Normally it's beer, beer, beer. Jesse Shodel says foul language. I didn't know you spoke chicken, GE. That was... Go fuck yourself and whatever. Daniel M says, "I'm having fun finding out what Brocephus says next." But yeah, anybody that tells you that you're making atheists look dumb is just being ridiculous, okay? Anytime anybody says that, you can immediately write them off as just being an idiot and wanting to put you down, huh? Yeah, well, okay, so a little bit of a caveat, you know, unless you're like in a very visible position, I guess, you can make atheists look bad. A visible position being you're the one that like mass media hits up in order to give the atheist impression on something or something like that. Like in those situations where they represent atheists with like a single person, I think that you could potentially make us look really dumb. But that's a caveat. In general, people on YouTube or you know, the general people on Twitter, I really don't think that any one person should be taken as a representative of the entire demographic. I think that that's something I highly disagree with the mass media and how they represent anybody is you know, having somebody speak for the entire group.
That's for the kegerator.
Gary White says, "Here's my weekly tithe. Our pea-brain corgi rushed me out the door and it's raining hard." I hope you stay dry there, Gary. Or use an umbrella. All right, and this numbnuts here, WebSlinger527, which is kind of weird. Because apparently he couldn't put WebSlinger527 1 in his name, but his @ is with a 1 on it. So it's either he couldn't get Webslinger 527 because that's already taken, so he had to add a 1 onto it, and he really wants to be Webslinger 527. I don't know what's so special about that fucking number, but anyways, Webslinger here says, "You should not be talking, Godless Engineer. You were so bad at presenting evidence, and even if you do use so cherry pick, you are called on low-hanging fruit. That's how bad you are. The most you do is only quote scholars who are known to be inconsistent and wrong countless times." Yeah, thank you for your interest in Godless Engineer there, Webslinger. Go fuck yourself. And that's literally what I told him on Twitter too. I retweeted his thing and I said, "Go fuck yourself." But the thing that he's referencing here is very hyper specific to my stance on whether or not Jesus existed. Now, I feel like I take a very rational stance in that there's no good evidence to suggest that he did exist, so there's no reason why I should believe that Jesus did exist. And I've actually, and I forgot to tell you this, honey, I've got a debate on Monday night coming up on whether or not Jesus existed. It's with a doctor, in quotes, and I say that, and I don't usually do that, but I say doctor in quotes very specifically because this guy literally printed his doctorate off of a computer. He paid $2,000 and sat in some lectures, and he ended up getting a doctorate from one of those doctorate mills, theological seminaries. Right, and it's definitely not accredited where he got his doctorate at, but he's still called doctor. But anyways, so this guy is just really upset at me disagreeing with people he agrees with, and then he calls me ridiculous and low-hanging fruit. I don't feel like I have a very low-hanging fruit argument against Jesus's existence, but you know, this is some numbnuts on the internet. I don't really need to care about what the fuck he says. That's why I told him to go and fuck himself. All right, finally, huh? Yeah, fuck him. Throw a dick at him. Finally on the comments, we've got a comment from David Huffman, who asks, "Godless Engineer, do you believe that the references to the cross and crucifixion in Paul's letter to the Galatians were interpolated?" And no, I think that those were legit things, but I also think that those things could have happened in the lower heavens, where there's copies of everything that happens here on earth, more perfect copies of the things that exist here on earth and happen here on earth. So the idea of crucifixions happening in the lower heavens in the celestial realm isn't really out of the realm of possibility when talking about early first century Jewish ideology. This would have been perfectly in line with it. You can look in Hebrews and you can find where this first century Jewish belief actually existed. So it's not a totally fringe thing or whatnot to think that they could have been talking about that. Oh shit, Drew's book reviews is in the house, hitting one of the super chats. He says, "Taking a lunch break to hang out with all of you. Kind of bored. Work as well sucks right now. Wish I could stay all night. Oh well. You are all just awesome." What are you doing?
I blew my load.
Andrew blew Casey's load. Here's a 20 because not super chatted in a while. Anyway, hi, how are you? We're doing great there, Drew. Thank you so much for joining tonight, for a little bit at least. But anyways, David, I hope that answered your question. Definitely look up Hebrews where it talks about it, or you could get my app. I lay out all the information in my app. It's Crestus. Go to crest.us and you can get to the link, or just look in your respective app store and you can get it there. So just, go check it out. All right, well, that's going to be it for the comments, but do you happen to know what we got going on next there, hon? Yes. Shitty ass science! We're gonna answer some science shit really wrong. Alright, all you heatheny motherfuckers that are going to hell. I'm here to give a TED Talk about blood pressure. As you can see here, this genius of a person independently figured out how they take your blood pressure at the doctor's office. I know they put the cuff on you, but this is what essentially is going on here. You see this pressure gauge and how it's jabbed into his arm right there? That's exactly what happens, but it's on the brace. There are these little pins that's what has to pump up. It's got to get inside of you, and then it tests your blood pressure directly. All right? Now, they don't want you to know this because you might be scared to go in next time thinking that, oh, it's just going to squeeze my arm a little bit. No, it's puncturing your arm. They're taking blood samples, and eventually they're going to clone you and replace you while you sleep in your bed. That's right. That's all the medical professionals want to do. They want to replace you with a clone, an easily programmable clone, so that you'll change your ideas based on medical science and shit. We don't want that. We're all fucking, what's that fuck conspiracy guy's name on the InfoWars? Alex Jones. We're Alex Jones motherfuckers here, okay? I totally believe every single fucking thing that man says. Also, fucking Joe Rogan is a fucking genius. I'm telling you. Yeah, am I? I don't know. I feel like I've been influenced by you fucks a little too long. This right here makes a lot more sense than a bag squeezing your fucking arm and then magically determining what your fucking blood pressure
only
is.
secures your seat in hell.
Junie, the apostate, says just like Greg Locke got his master's at a school that teaches pre-K to 8th. Yeah, he definitely did graduate at least middle school. I mean, I think that there's enough evidence to say that he made it that far. I think he knows math. I don't know, though. He may just memorize his lectures or whatever. Not lectures. What are they? Church sessions? Sermons! He probably hears them audiobook-wise while he's out there trying to kick the faces in of like a Starbucks employee. But that's just how the good Lord shows his love, with a boot to your face, apparently. Anyways, this is how you take the blood pressure. Just keep that in mind next time you visit a doctor, okay? I guess that's it for my TED Talk, and I will see all of you heathens later as soon as I figure out how to get the fuck out of here. All right, here I go. So, yeah, obviously Joe Rogan's a dipshit. Don't listen to anything Bro Cephas said. I don't know what's going on with him. I think we got some Jack Daniels, some Gentleman Jack. I think he got into it a little bit. Even Joe Rogan admits that he's a dipshit. He said it on air. Don't listen to me. I'm dumb as fuck, is what he said. Nacho Tor did the super chat saying, so I just walked in to see someone sticking a needle in their arm with a PSI gauge.
To Timothy, what the fuck ever? Shut the fuck up.
That was the 2 Timothy one. So that's the shitty ass science there, Nacho Tor. You walked in at the right time. So I found this as a joke post. Obviously, this is not how they test blood pressure. I don't want anybody to walk away from this particular stream tonight thinking that's a real thing. Oh shit. Well, apparently I've run out my luck on the fucking stream.
Woo! Beer money!
We got shit upload speeds.
Hey, I don't know if y'all know this, but every time you donate, the Lord cries.
Yeah, so anybody that's watching that's not buffering, we got some speed issues over here. I don't know why. Receiving enough. Okay. I think. Is it okay now? That seems better. Oh, just went green. All right, we need to hurry up and get to the video. So we're gonna jump on over there right now, okay? Yeah, I'll get to them. All right, so we did have a few super chats. Just to get back into it now. Let me get back over here to the super chats. We got Lisa for Truth who says Kent got a doctorate and he can't even read. Junie the Apostate says clones, COVID test, take your DNA to clone ya. Yeah, if you're in the Skeptic Mafia, you would know about that particular story.
Woo! That's for the kegerator.
All right, Daniel's getting us a keg. It needs to be indexed at 0, then it will work. Oh, obviously, indexing at 0 is the only way to go. All right, we got a green light. We're gonna hit this sumbitch as quick as we can. Trying to get it done before my internet decides to crap out again. All right, honey, are you ready? I am ready as well. So just prior to this, he talked about how the dinosaurs disappeared. And so that's what you're kind of seeing on the screen right now. But now he's going to be going into population statistics.
Touched on last time, this slide right here, talking about how if you use the Bible, things aren't all that old. You know, we've got the chronology from Adam all the way to Jesus. And the most common response that I get from well-meaning Christians is this: yeah, but what about the science?
That is a good question, well-meaning Christians out there. Hold this motherfucker's feet to the fire, because none of that shit makes sense that he's got up on the screen. Do you see how he's got this lineage? That this is how creationists, they do their dating in the Bible. That's how they know it's quote-unquote 6,000 years old. And then it diverges between the two, and it has two different lineages for Jesus, right? Now, there's a really big problem with this. For one thing, the Bible doesn't actually say that the two lineages are like one is Mary and one is Joseph. This is an assumption that is made by creationists. Two, this is particularly fucky because they occur in two different books, in two different gospels, right? So they're trying to record the same lineage, yet they record different lineages. And then the third thing is, Joseph isn't even Jesus's dad. Like, you just never hear about Joseph when Jesus gets older. You hear about Joseph while he's a kid, obviously, but you don't hear about him when he gets older and shit. It's not like his dad's around to give him advice about not getting pinned up on a cross by the fucking Romans, right? So I don't even understand why you would want to like record this as the line of Joseph. He has literally nothing to do with the lineage of Jesus. Supposedly, if at least you go by Matthew and Mark's accounts of Jesus's birth and stuff, Jesus, I mean, he fucked his own mom and then had himself. Like, because Jesus is God and everything like that. God impregnated Mary, or I guess used the Holy Spirit to impregnate Mary. And so there's no way that Joseph could ever be Jesus's dad. I have no idea why he's even presenting it like this, other than he's just religiously ridiculous is what he is. All right, let's. So the last thing he said was holding, what about the science, and holding his feet to the fire about the science of it because it's all bullshit. Let's see what he has to say.
And their point is this: they believe that science and the Bible are at odds because that's what we've been taught.
Well, that's based on reading the Bible. There's plenty of things in the Bible that just don't make sense scientifically. The entire Genesis account, the flood account, all of the things that supposedly happened to the Israelite people in history didn't actually happen to the Israelite people in history. The numbers that are recorded in the Bible of the Jewish people in the Old Testament are wrong. So I don't understand why you would think that science and the Bible don't conflict. It definitely does. And I say this because science is meant to describe reality, right? To the best of our ability, describe what really happens in reality. If the Bible does not, if it does not comport with reality, then it is definitely anti-science.
Folks, there's no truth in that at all. God is the author of science. Okay? True science points back to him.
True. I like how he's trying to gatekeep fucking science now. True science only reveals God. Bullshit fucking science says that he doesn't exist. Which, to be fair, no science says that God doesn't exist. We could definitely say that science disproves the biblical version of God, but there's no science that proves that God doesn't exist. But he's talking about the Christian God, so that's what he's saying. True science comes to the conclusion that God exists. Fake ass bullshit science. Jane told me to quit drinking in the super chat. Hold on. Fake ass science over here only suggests that God may not exist. So fuck that kind of science. Jane Pusecker says, Joseph was said to be older when he married Mary. I have heard she was 16 years old at the time, and he was like 40-something. I think that she was closer to like 13 at the time. So, I don't know. But at least for me there, Jane, which I know that Jane's a Christian, but at least for me, Jane, they're just making up people. And so you can literally have them be any age that you want them to be. Lisa for Truth says population is a dumb argument for young Earth. We'll see how he gets there. He gets there in a unique way, I have to say. There it goes.
Woo! That's for the kegerator.
Fuck yeah, kegerator.
When they say, yeah, but what about the science? That's when I get all excited. Because when you stop and you really look at science, here's what you discover. Yeah, we've got a man-made theory that a lot of people have bought into that talks about millions and billions of years. But when you look at other actual evidence, like population statistics, numbers, you realize numbers can't lie, right?
Aha! I have to stop you immediately here because while numbers don't lie, people use numbers to lie, or rather misrepresent things. Also, you can get shit wrong, which you do here in your little sermon. You get shit wrong about population statistics and just basic fucking math. So, while numbers don't lie, you definitely are misrepresenting the information. I won't go as far as to say that you're lying about them, but you're definitely manipulating the information in order to tell the narrative that you want to, just like any good conspiracy theorist would.
Able to lie. So what if we were to use numbers and talk about how old is the earth?
Oh, so when he's talking about the theory. He talks about it as like a monolithic theory of millions and millions of years, right? That's not a theory. That's proven scientific fact. There's multiple ways in which you can prove it, either through radiocarbon dating or other various means. Just looking out into the stars at night proves to you that there have been millions and millions and billions of years that have come before us. Okay, this is just basic physics at this point. It's a fact that the universe is billions of years old, 13.5 billion to be precise. So when he's talking about this as a monolithic theory, right, he means a general theory, not a scientific theory. But even so, he's talking about multiple different scientific theories, right? He's talking about the scientific theory of the Big Bang. He's talking about the scientific theory of evolution. He's talking about the scientific, not theory, the principle of uniformitarianism. He's talking about a plethora of things as a monolithic science, like little pile of shit. But it's not really a pile of shit. In fact, this is the bedrock of like all of science here. Just the fact that we can describe reality, and these are things that we know without doubt to be true.
Let's talk about the human population. We know every 35 years the population is doubling. We've been taking the census long enough to know, even with famines, with wars, disease, every 35 years, it's doubling. So if you guys think traffic on I-25 is bad now, just wait. It's coming.
So, just like with any conspiracy theorist that is looking to tell a specific narrative, Brad Harrub here is using a small kernel of knowledge and then extrapolating from it, misrepresenting information, and possibly even leaving out information that he really should communicate to his audience. Like, for instance, the way the way that we determine a population doubling in size.
Listen, donating this much money only secures your seat in hell.
Thank you so much there, Quentin, for going to hell. Quentin says, how do I go about getting a good seat to hell? Want to be able to see all the fallen metal gods, you know, since metal is the devil, obviously, and you just bought your ticket. I mean, it's fairly cheap. So the way that we determine this, and I did get it. Yeah, here we go. See if I can pull this up right here, so you know I'm not just pulling this shit out of my ass. Let's do a window capture. That one. Okay. So what is doubling time, and what does it mean to determine how fast a population doubles in size? Okay, so what is doubling time? Basically, doubling time is the amount of time it takes for a given quantity to double in size or value at a constant growth rate. We can find the doubling time for a population undergoing experimental growth by using the rule of 70. To do this, we divide 70 by the growth rate, R. So basically, if you have 2% annual population growth in a group, then in this case, the human species, then you would divide 70 by 2, and that would be the amount of time it would take for that group to double in size given a constant population growth. And in this case, it's 35 years. Now, where he's getting this information from, and I'm so glad that I'm able to just fucking pop this shit up here for you guys. There we go. Sorry, I had accidentally closed this one. All right, and then let me... I really should have gotten this prepared beforehand, but what the fuck ever. This is on par with, the way I run my streams here. Huh? Definitely professional here. That's all we are. Okay, so what Brad's numbers represent are a constant growth rate of 2% every single year. As you can see on this graph, we have encountered the 2%, like back in 1968, 67, 66. Like we hovered around that globally for a while, but we've been declining over years, right? All this does is highlight the variability of the population growth. Now, this is data taken from 1950, but even prior to that, you could tell that the population growth is not going to be a constant number. Like, it's not constantly 2% the entire time of human existence, right? Obviously, when plagues happen, that's gonna be a really big dent on the population growth for a long time. When wars are fought, that's gonna be a big dent on it. And our history is rife with all of those things. Not to mention the fact that our medical knowledge has increased significantly, even from the 1950s, right? So it hasn't remained the 2%. But Brad, in order for his information to pan out here for the bullshit that he's peddling to his audience, it has to be a constant. But when you actually look at the data, the population growth rate, you will see that it simply doesn't support the conclusion that he's coming to, and that's a finite 35 years for doubling, constantly throughout time. We got Vandalia, 1988.
Money.
Says 2 times 2 equals 4 times 2 equals 8. Young Earth approved. Check, please. But yeah, so I just wanted you guys to have the full range of information about the 35 years, how it got a little bit of truth in it, but it is not truth like as far as being able to determine the numbers that he's wanting to determine to make this argument from human population. So I'm gonna let him continue and let him completely spell out his whole idea here.
And if you think you guys are in forever construction, guess what? It's just that's it, forever. So let's do this. Let's say we got two people. We'll call them Adam and Eve. This started 1 million years ago. Now, that's conservative because most evolutionists would put Homo sapiens starting about 3 million years ago. Well, 1 million years ago.
Let's see. When did Homo sapien first appear? Bones of primitive Homo sapiens appear 300,000 years ago in Africa with brains as large or larger than ours. They're followed by anatomically modern Homo sapiens at least 200,000 years ago. No. So yeah, he's totally wrong on how long ago Homo sapiens, which is what he's meaning here. I feel like, let's see, when did the first Homo genus appear? What he's talking about is when the first organism in the Homo genus appeared. And that would be 2.5 million years ago. Those are not human beings. So he's kind of conflating a couple terms here with who Homo sapiens are or who he's actually talking about. This really doesn't come as a big surprise. He doesn't really seem to know what he's talking about. But even if Homo sapiens, first developed 1 million years ago, if we were to give him that, then his math would still be wrong here.
42 years, again, staying very conservative. Average family size, 2.4 kids per family.
So he's trying to lay out his method for determining how big the population would be considering these things. He doesn't actually use the population growth that was present at that time. Like, as far as what we can even hope to know about the population sizes of Homo sapiens when they first appeared, he's not using the actual population growth, which is essential to determining the doubling speed of a population. What he's using is some kind of weird mathematical formulation using the average generation and the average family size. So, and I mean, he thinks that he's arguing a fortiori, which means from the strongest position. He thinks that he's arguing from the strongest position, but he's really not. He's building a straw man, and then he's going to tear this straw man down with bullshit figures.
That's really conservative. Because most of you know your grandparents, great-grandparents, they had much, much bigger families, right? You do the math, the total population should be 10 to the 5,000th power. That means a 10 with 5,000 zeros after it.
Yeah, that definitely seems ridiculous. It's also not scientific. It also doesn't represent anything that would be reality, even if Homo sapiens appeared 1 million years ago, let alone 200 or 300,000 years ago. So the bullshit number that you just pulled out of your ass using bad math doesn't really help your argument here, because it's bad math. Maybe I feel like he needs to go back to school, an actual school, and take more calculus or take more statistics or something like that. I'm not claiming to be the great statistician, right, or anything like that. I'm not claiming to be any kind of things like that. But I know basic statistics and like the population math. Like, I know that pretty well. Also, just to say, Brad Harrub is a doctor, but he's a medical doctor, which is how would your stepdad put it there, honey? A doctor that can do something? A doctor that can help people. Well, in this case, I would ask for a different doctor if I had to go and see him. But he's a doctor that could help somebody. But he's not a doctor in the respect that, like, he's not a mathematician or something like that, or some kind of field that would actually give him the authority to just say this shit and be taken without question. Yeah, that's right. You shouldn't do that with anybody, but he's speaking in that kind of way, Now,
I could only fit 1,000 on this screen. That means we need 4 more screens of zeros coming out all the way out into the floor.
Oh, you mean out of your ass? Okay. I agree. More zeros coming out of your ass is definitely what's needed.
10 to the 5,000 power. Here's the interesting thing about that. Out of the entire known universe, everything that the Hubble has looked at, they've done the math, and it would only hold somewhere around 10 to the 100th people. I just said 10 to the 5,000. That means for every area the size of a quarter, there should be 500 people.
You see, none of this even matters because his math is bad. He uses bad math to come to a bad conclusion. So you could tell me that everybody, like 1,000 people would have to fit on one side of a dime, and it really wouldn't make a difference there, Brad, because you're just peddling bullshit at this point, and you're just using large numbers and ridiculous sizes and shit in order to try to convince your audience that you're correct and that the human population disproves an old Earth. And it's just getting pathetic at this point. The fact that you're preaching in a church about scientific matters and getting it all wrong and everybody's just eating it up, I think, like, that's sickening to me.
And we hope they use deodorant, right? All right, what if we do this? What if we redo set it up again? This time we start with 2 people, we'll call them Adam and Eve, but we start just 6,000 years ago. Same generation time, 42 years. Same family size, 2.4 kids per family. You run the math, lo and behold, population should be about 8.34 billion. You say, wow, Brad, that's a whole lot closer to reality.
Using your fucked up math that was meant to prove your point, yeah, that sounds a bit more reasonable. But just because you can create some kind of fucked up math where you just do random shit in there for whatever the fuck reason to come out with the number that you want it to say, sure. But also, using this method right here totally contradicts your Christian view or your Old Testament or fundamentalist view of the Bible. I don't know if you guys remember, but people used to live to hundreds of years old. This wasn't like fucking a 42-year lifespan for these people, right? I mean, Adam lived to be what, 900 fucking years old? How can you sit there and be like, using the same shit for Adam and all the other fucks that lived at that time, we get the more appropriate number? When that literally contradicts your entire Christian idea, fundamentalist Christian idea of the Old Testament. That's just something I just noticed, and I thought it was fucking hilarious. But also, just to point out more scientifically, a population of 2 individuals would not be able to sustain a population. There's this thing called a minimum viable population, right? This is the minimum number of organisms you would need in a population in order for that population to actually thrive and survive. Now, this would be a population that's dependent upon like sexual reproduction, not asexual reproduction or any other kind of means of reproduction. This would be, where genetics would come in as far as like the sexual reproduction part. So that's what you would need. This MVP is what you would need in order for that population to stave off genetic defects from interbreeding as well as genetic drift. So what you would need for a human population is about 160 people to stave off both of those. Typically, when we look at population numbers, they go by the 50 and 500 rule, right? 50/500. Basically, in order to stave off any kind of interbreeding genetic mutations, you would need at least 50 individuals. But in order to stave off like genetic drift, you would need more like 500, generally speaking, for any species out there that reproduces sexually. So what you have to consider here is the fact that what he's saying is that you give 2 people the time to reproduce like this, they fuck each other to hell, and apparently there's just no consequences for any kind of genetic mutations.
That's for the kegerator.
Thank you so much there, Jonathan Hanachek, for the kegerator money. Hope this makes up for me being extremely late and not here, and technical problems with GE, sponsored by me. Thank you there, Jonathan. Stop fucking with my settings, man. Kidding. But so basically, his entire premise here is bullshit. It's totally contradictory to his fundamentalist view of Christianity and the science about population growth, about how groups of organisms can even survive. All of that is totally fuckered. Huh? I'm good with deluxe. No what? I'm putting here. Oh no cauliflower.
But still, you're too much. We know we just clicked over 7 billion, right? Right. But what happened about 4,000 years ago that knocked us back to just 8? The flood. Folks,
everything works out with my bullshit math because I wanted it to work out that way. Obviously. Obviously, his bullshit math is going to work out perfectly for the bullshit story that he wants to tell. Because he starts with his answer, and that's how many people are on this earth whenever this was fucking recorded. How many people are on the earth? And now what we're going to do is meddle with the math until we get that number, considering the flood as well as the current population size. So that's how he came up with his fucked up math.
Numbers don't lie. Man-made theories might, but the numbers don't. And so use these opportunities when you're talking to your kids about math, when you're talking to them about the census that we have to take every so many years. Talk to them about how the fact that, you know what, this really supports the biblical genealogies. In fact, we've been taking numbers since the book of Numbers.
What's funny about that is that the numbers in the book of Numbers are completely wrong and do not match what we find in reality. We've been able to find like archaeological physical evidence that the numbers that are reported in the book of Numbers are all bullshit and inflated. It's almost like Trump went back in time and gave the Israelites advice on how to pump their numbers up. It's like, just write down different numbers. Nobody will know. Everybody will just take it as the gospel truth. Ha ha. You don't know that word yet.
It's one of the most exciting books, right? And yet, here's what our kids are getting a steady right here. Big Bang, explosion. Look at the last sentence on this page. In a closed universe, a Big Bang may occur once every 80 to 100 billion years. Somebody show me the science in that sentence right there. Because,
I mean, if I could show you the science that might lead you to that, which I feel like this is kind of an old book. It's based on old information. Science is always changing, which is a good thing. I mean, it's not like we have a science textbook from the 1st century and we've just stuck to that shit. If that were the case, then we would think that air is bad and contains spirits that infest your asshole in order to give you ass cancer as well as any other kind of illness. Right? I mean, we would think that like mental illness was a demon infesting your body and shit, and you gotta cast it out by exorcisms and shit like that. So I mean, we don't have like a single absolute book that gives us all the answers. Science is a discipline that continuously refines itself, that takes new information and figures out the best representation of the reality that we live in. And that's a magnificent fucking thing.
Should quit drinking all that beer, GE.
Thank you there, Eric. It says, did he say the book of Numbers is the most exciting book? Even restricting your selection to the Bible, that seems like a bad choice. I know, right? Numbers 31, 17 to 18 is really exciting, where God is commanding the Israelites to kill little children and take girls, small prepubescent girls, as sexual slaves. That's fucking riveting content right there. But in any case, I could explain to you like how they might come up with that number, but it really doesn't matter because you're not going to be able to understand it anyways. Anybody that's eating your shit up with like a fucking giant spoon is not going to be able to understand the science no matter what. Hi, hon. In my pocket. So regardless of how many times a Big Bang may occur, we know that it happened at least once, and so it can happen again. That's really all you got to know, right? It's the same concept as with evolution. We know evolution happened and is still happening. So like abiogenesis, evolution, all of that could definitely happen in another place in this universe, and most likely has. We may never know this other organism that lives out there, but the fact is that if it happened once, it can definitely happen again. There's nothing that restricts it from happening again.
Because you might as well say, once upon a time. That's like fairy tale stuff right there. I had a youth minister one time ask me the question that you see on the screen. You know, could God have used a big bang to get us to where we are today? Before I answer that question,
he's gonna bullshit you a little bit. But in all seriousness, could God have used a big bang? Sure. Not the Christian God, because I don't think the Christian God exists. But could some ambiguous deity figure that exists outside of our reality, could that thing actually exist and actually use the Big Bang to create a universe? Sure. I will go as far as to say that this deity figure could have goat seed and caused the universe to come into existence out of that horrible nightmare of a situation. So just because he could have done it doesn't mean that he actually did do it. And just because we don't know how it actually happened doesn't mean that by default, God is the answer. That's what all of these religious apologists want to jump to, is the fact that science can't specifically cite like how the Big Bang occurred or why it occurred, like they can with the rain cycle. And so obviously the automatic assumption is God did it. And I have this video ending on a very specific note that highlights my exact problem with him just jumping to the God conclusion.
I want you to think about how many of those textbooks actually talk about where the original matter for that Big Bang came from. They don't do that, do they?
Well, no, they wouldn't, because there's no concrete scientific theory about how that all happened. They are, hypotheses. There are hypotheses out there about how it could have happened, how everything could have been compressed into a singularity. I think the most favored explanation right now is that there was a quantum scalar field, the inflaton field, that fluctuated from a false vacuum state into a true vacuum state. And when it did that, it released an immense amount of energy, which was the inflation event. And then it continued expanding from that point. But this huge inflation event filled our universe with inflaton particles, which was a type of energy that then transformed into what would become the matter that we have now. So it's really just energy changing states from one state to another state. We have been able to test and experiment for these quantum scalar fields to be able to produce these large amounts of energy when they fluctuate from a false vacuum to a true vacuum.
You should quit drinking all that beer, G.E.
Hellbound Hillbilly, I will not quit drinking beer. I just don't have any right now. I'm on a liquor thing right now, okay? Hellbound Hillbilly says, take my money whether the YouTube censors want you to or not. This video will definitely be censored tonight. So thank you so much, Hellbound Hillbilly, and everybody else that's helped us through super chats. But the fact is that even if you heard it, Brad Harrub or his entire audience, even if I could explain to them the quantum scalar field and all this other bullshit, or all this other shit, not bullshit, all this other shit, they still wouldn't accept it. Or if they accepted it, then they would just say, oh, well, obviously God dinged that thing with his dick, and that's what caused the inflation of the universe. Obviously, God damn it. We all know that God has a tiny dick. Come on now. They would never say God has a tiny dick. I don't know, honey. You get some of these, I mean, these Catholic fucks will diddle a kid, but they won't talk about God's tiny dick. I don't buy it.
Last night about the fact that what they really do is they say, well, maybe it came from this little bitty point in space. In fact, let me back up. This is the 2002 issue of Discover, where supposedly everything in the universe came from that red dot. They say that's the actual size of the universe at 10 to the minus 34 seconds from the Big Bang.
No. That would have been like just prior to the Big Bang. At 10 to the negative 34 seconds, it would have exponentially inflated to a size a little bit smaller than what the universe is now. I say little bit in a relative manner because it's not really a little bit, it's actually a huge number, but in relation to the size of the universe, it is a little bit smaller. So no, what you said there was a total misrepresentation of even what the singularity hypothesis is. But even then, the singularity hypothesis is perfectly in line with the quantum scalar field hypothesis that I just mentioned. Just because you don't understand it doesn't mean that it's bullshit. All of that math that you presented earlier was literally bullshit. This is literally scientific hypotheses that hold more plausibility than your God hypothesis. Yes, real doctors of like fucking science and shit. He's a real medical doctor, but he doesn't have the qualifications to be able to be like, this is bullshit right here. This doesn't make sense. Like, he just doesn't have the qualifications to say that without actually presenting a paper and having it published through journals and peer reviewed and shit. Like, he's just standing on a pulpit saying a whole bunch of shit to people that already believe the thing that he's trying to convince them of. Like, what's the fucking point in this? What is the point in this entire lecture that he's giving this audience in this church? It's pointless. So Casey was saying that it reinforces. Well, that's my point. These are people that don't want to actually understand reality. These are people that just want to be told that their beliefs are scientifically grounded. Yeah, do you want to actually say that? No? I probably can't do it the same justice that you can. They're wanting to be fed bullshit. I boiled down what she said. I'm sorry. And he's about to really highlight the entire point of all of this.
Guys, look at the subheading. I'm going to blow it up so you guys can read it. It says, the universe burst into something from absolutely nothing. Zero. Nada.
Where the citation fucking needed? Where are you even getting this? You have no way for us to know where in the hell this quote came from. It came from his slideshow, obviously. But, I mean, no scientist would say absolutely nothing. The nothing that science describes is totally different from the absolute nothing kind of bullshit that religious apologists often put out there. Skits Crasher says, my physics degree just caught on fire. I don't know if that was from shit I said or from shit he said, but if it's from shit he said, definitely light that shit on fire, because it definitely had a lot of friction.
Hey, I don't know if y'all know this, but every time you donate, the Lord cries.
That's a true story. But anyways, I don't know where this came from. I don't think that an actual astrophysicist or theoretical physicist or anything like that would have said this. So, I mean, we don't have any idea where this came from. And it really, listen, it should not be incumbent upon me or you, the audience, to sit there and fucking Google the quotes that he has on the screens. We shouldn't have to Google for the citations for these quotes to see who said them and their reasons for saying this shit. We shouldn't have to do that. He should provide the context. He should provide the citations. The fact that he's not says that he's trying to be dubious, or he's trying to present some kind of narrative that he wants to tell.
Here's a result.
Oh, sorry.
Woo!
Google
Bear
wanted to tell
money.
me some shit. Lisa for Truth says, why do they project their beliefs on us? I have no fucking idea there, Lisa. That's actually a pretty good question. I have no idea why they project their beliefs onto us. I guess it's because, I mean, I'm not going to try to speculate as to why. It's kind of fucked up when they do it.
It became filled with even more stuff that came from absolutely nowhere. Okay, now again, let me ask you, where's the science in that?
There is no fucking science because you just pulled it out of your gaping asshole. Well, that's where he got it from. Like, none of this is science. You created a straw man and it was like, see, where the fuck is the science in this straw man that I just fucking created right here, huh? I didn't use any science to construct this motherfucker. Yeah, you fucking straw man. Boosh! Die, motherfucker. That's right. Hail God. Woo! I feel like the thing that he needs to do right now is he needs to, like, I don't know. He needs to do a keg stand. It's like, am I right, y'all? I'm right. Time to do a keg stand. Keg stand.
Because that right there, my friends, that requires a whole lot more faith than saying, in the beginning, God created.
Yeah. It's so much easier to just pull an explanation out of your ass and say, God did it. Do you see how this is a thought-stopping mechanism? That whenever somebody says, oh, that's just God, or, oh, God did it, or, you know, God wanted this to happen. Any time anybody says that to you, it is a thought-stopping technique. They want you to stop thinking about whatever in the fuck question you're thinking about. Like, where did this universe came from? How does this quantum theory bullshit make sense? How does any, like, can I understand any of this? Can I pick up a quantum theory book and understand it? Yeah, you can. Or you can listen to his bullshit and stop thinking about it because it's really fucking uncomfortable to think about how this universe could have naturally come into existence. That doesn't mean that a God doesn't exist, but at the same time, he has to, because, like, he has to present it in this ridiculous way because he's a Christian fundamentalist. He is a creationist person, right? He has to believe in the Genesis account. He has to believe that two people were fashioned by God. God one day got some allergies while he was walking through Eden. He sneezed on some dirt and it all formulated into a guy. And then the guy started bitching because he couldn't fucking procreate with all the other animals. Trust me, he fucking tried. So God slipped him a roofie and then took his rib and, like, rubbed it really hard and fashioned a woman out of his own fucking rib. Adam's rib. It totally seems reasonable. God did it, right? God did. Obviously, God, when you sprinkle a little bit of God on shit, anything can happen. Am I right? Yeah. I am personally very angry about this bullshit. If you couldn't tell. Because he's put into this position where people are listening to him and they think that he is regurgitating scientific facts or that he is bringing up holes in scientific theories. They don't understand that he's creating straw men and presenting them to the audience as if they were actual scientific theories. And that just pisses me off. I feel like any reasonable person would be pissed off when somebody is obviously presenting bad information to a group of people. And the people are like, oh, yeah, totally. God did it. Yeah. God did it. Definitely. Like, that just, I don't know. That really pisses me off. Anyways. Woo fucking saw. I do. I feel a little bit better. Thank you, heathens, for joining me tonight. All in all, as far as this goes, which I was actually advised by Critical Cripple, Dave, I think his name's Dave, maybe, that I should give a rating system for this. So I think my rating for this guy's video, this very specific part of this sermon, is a 2 octopi dick out of 5. Okay. I feel like the other 3 need to be thrown at him from the audience, told to fuck off. I think 3 octopi dicks is enough to get him off stage. Or hell, get you some octopi people in there, like probably from that what's that painting multiplayer like shooting games. Squiggly, Squidward, no. Squads, Inkscape, no. Splatoon. The fucking Splatoon kids need to rip off their dicks and throw it at them right now, okay? The Splatoon kids are squids and or octopi or something like that. Splatoon. Fucking the Splatoon kids need to throw their dicks at them. Splatoon people. Splatoon people need to.
That's KC's money.
KC got some money probably for the lawyers for saying the Splatoon kids. But anyways, yeah. 2 octopi dicks out of 5. I'm not impressed by this video. I found that he just threw out a whole bunch of bad information. He made up these different types of math in order to prove his point. He started from his conclusion and worked backward, even with the math, and then he presented...
2 Timothy, what the fuck ever, shut the fuck up.
Damn, Burcephus, I will not shut the fuck up. This is my channel. Brad just presented bullshit information even after he left the math behind. He tried to... God damn it, Brad, fucker. Fuck off. If only I had an octopus dick with me. I've only got whale dicks around here. Anyways, even after Brad left the math behind, he still presented wrong information about the beginning of this universe. He presented wrong information about the singularity. He presented wrong information about what scientists say about the beginning of this universe. He just continuously, at every single point in this video, presents straw man information as scientific information, and it's just aggravating. Go fuck yourself, Brad. Torbjorn Lindberg says the maths teacher in me is still crying in pain. I know, right? Lisa for Truth says, why are fundies taking the figures from a Catholic priest? I don't know. Junie the Apostate says, Splatoon! Yeah, I can't remember what it was fucking called. I haven't played it, like, in forever. I think when I had my Wii U operational, I think I played the original Splatoon, maybe. I haven't played it on the Switch.
That's KC's money.
Oh shit, you got some money. Yeah, you're getting some pizza tonight, so I guess that's what you spent your money on, huh? What? Okay. She used my money. Anyways, we're about to head into the mafioso comments, which I think we've got a pretty healthy amount of tonight. So if you want to, you can join the Skeptic Mafia here and leave a comment on the Friday night video. We'd really appreciate you joining. It's a pretty awesome group. I'm trying to get back into the groove of doing a podcast, a mafioso only podcast every single week. Hopefully I can get back into that groove, but we'll see. It has been a little bit crazy. And then also for the mafiosos, we do a monthly hangouts, as well as you guys get to pick the video. Like tonight's video, you can blame on the Skeptic Mafia because they are the ones that wanted to see this. And every single time they regret their decisions, but they still manage to pick the worst videos. Or, well, the best videos, I guess you could say. But in any case, if you want to join the Skeptic Mafia, we'd very much welcome you into the Skeptic Mafia. We're about to go into the comments of the Skeptic Mafia and read those off. But if you're going to be leaving out right now, then please leave me a comment. I'd love to know what you guys think about Brad's sermon here. I'm going to have the full sermon up in the description later. And I hope that you guys have a lovely weekend. I know I have a debate on Monday night about whether or not Jesus existed. So if you want to come and check me out there, keep a watch on the community tab here, because I'll put the link up there. Monday, we're going to be looking at Brad Harrub again, but he's going to be talking about how the dinosaurs disappeared. He has a very interesting idea about that. I know at least Cadence is gonna love the dino roars. Multiple other people love the dino roars too, so I hope you guys enjoy that. And then Wednesday, I'm not exactly sure yet, but we'll have some dumb fucking video to review. So anyways, I hope you guys have a lovely weekend, and I will see you heathens later. Don't forget to stand up and use your voice. Bye, heathens. Don't go, because we're going to get into the Skeptic Mafia comments here as soon as I get it brought up. Okay, no, I'm pulling them up now, so they're pretty fresh. All right, let's get to the Skeptic Mafia comments. Oh. All right, so first up is Daniel M. Daniel says this dude aptly talks about population doubling. He did not take into consideration the death rate at all, nor did he bring up how many people might have kids and who doesn't. Also, where is his citation? Plus, he's pretending that this every 35 years shit is consistent. Let me get this straight. He believes all people have kids at 35? What a dipshit. His sermon was fucked from the word go. This right here is the type of shit that got me questioning religion and faith in the first place. It makes no sense. Here is what does make sense. Whale dicks. Yep, join the Skeptic Mafia. John can explain. We're an awesome group of people. We have we're shitty sorry, yeah, you're right, honey. We're shitty fucking people. We donate money to charity. We have a Discord where I think people talk. I can be in there. We just talk shit about God all the time. Huh? We fucking hate God, and that's why we donate to charity and shit, because we don't think God is gonna magically help people. Oh, God. It's such a shitty fucking thing to join the Skeptic Mafia. I just gotta tell you right now. But Daniel, as far as like his numbers, I think the primary thing that would really encompass like everything that you mentioned would be the population growth percentage. Like, how much does the population grow or shrink over the years? And so I think using that, you can accurately determine, how fast it doubles. Because like right now, we're in a position where we're doubling every 70 years, not every 35 like he wants to think, because it's not 1965, right? That's apparently when everybody was fucking and having kids in the entire world, not just in the United States. Oh, yeah, that's right. The Whammons didn't have to work. That's right. Who's Your Buddy is next. Who's Your Buddy says, his argument seems more in support of biblical incest than a young Earth. Homo sapiens go back about 300,000, not 1 million years. But it's very obvious that you're not good with numbers anyways. Anyway, a biblical flood would have destroyed the earth beyond repair. After the waters receded, there would have been nothing left to preserve life in terms of food or atmosphere. That's another good point that I forgot to bring up in the main thing, is that the flood would have killed everything. Like, there would have been no plant life, there would have been no nothing. And two of every animal, and sometimes seven, even if you were to have 7 of every animal, that would not be enough to sustain a population of animals. They would have eventually died out through the various genetic diseases and genetic defects that you would have because of inbreeding and genetic drift and shit. So, I mean, it doesn't make sense at all. Cadence! There's so much wrong with his talk, it's ridiculous. His population talk is just wrong, period. So we'll talk about the second point. For his talk on the Big Bang, again, he's totally misrepresenting the actual science. The universe wasn't created from a single point and is expanding from there. The cosmic microwave background radiation image doesn't change when you move. It's a constant and static map, which means the rate of expansion is universal everywhere. The science points to the rapid and then continual expansion of the universe occurring everywhere in every direction. There is no center of the universe. Technically, everywhere is the center. That's got to be worth 1 shilling, right? It's definitely worth a shilling. If you guys join the Skeptic Mafia today, I can guarantee you a special podcast in the next month. That's what I'll do. Just one podcast, I can guarantee that no matter what. Somebody subscribed, and I appreciate you subscribing. But if you join the Skeptic Mafia, you'll get a special, another person subscribed. You're starting to convince me a little bit more now as you're subscribing. But I'm just saying, one special podcast, that's what I can guarantee. We're trying. Thank you so much, Cadence. Yeah, we're doing our best in this time. Michelle F says, yes, he totally got us on this one. Yep, he big-brained his way into debunking all the scientists because, you know, every single offspring our ancestor had 100% survived, and even more offspring than all 100% survived. Definitely nothing out there that could have knocked off a kid or 5. Diseases, wild animals, and nature in general definitely had 0 effect on survivability back in the day. Boy, do I feel schooled. This whole video smacked of, tell me you don't understand science without actually saying you don't understand science or history or reality. That is totally accurate to his video. Anywho, I won't be here tonight since I have to be a supportive friend, break up beers. Oh. Don't forget to slap that like button, caress the subscribe button, and tickle the share button. If you're feeling extra froggy, why not join the Skeptic Mafia? I hear GE is giving new members a nice friendly reach around. Love you all. I'm not reaching around, but okay, so I can guarantee 2 special podcasts this month. That's what I'll do. I'll guarantee 2 special podcasts. All right. I mean, y'all really convincing me here with all this love in the comments. So there we go. Michael W. Roble, he says, do you think this guy really believes what he is saying? Or is he a piece of shit grifter trying to keep a cushy job? Damn, Michael, that's a little too on the nose. I don't want to sound mean or judgmental, but in my opinion, he appears to be either a fairy tale believing moron or a power hungry narcissist. I only hope the people in his congregation are only there for the potluck dinners, ice cream socials, and wife swapping parties. What the fuck? Do they do that at church now? Like, what did the church have a special bowl you put your key in and like a key party? Is that what church is now? Holy shit. I'm glad I got out of church when I did. And get vaccinated. I got mine. My wife says the mustache rides are more exciting without a mask. Okay. I agree. This guy is totally misrepresenting science. Thank you so much, Michael, for your comments. I feel like sometimes we're like, what can I say to make him blush? Mustache rides. He's got a mustache. He could weigh in on this. Yeah, you're right, honey. You would be able to weigh in on that, but you don't have a mic, so I guess I'm fucked, huh? I guess technically not fucked. Vanta Blue! Numbers are unable to lie. Sure, but how they are presented can hide the truth. His grasp on anything scientific is tenuous at best. I feel your sigh. Like, that has been the sigh in that comment has been how I've been the entire night, except I'm screaming it. Quentin Van Booven says, oh my, I don't even have much to say beyond, can you imagine believing population growth has always been the same? Y'all know the deal. Lick the like, smash the sub, and caress the share. Consider joining the Skeptic Mafia for some sweet perks. You know, all of this shilling. Okay. Okay. Here's what I'll do. You got the 2 podcasts guaranteed this month. And I'll do a monthly hangout. That's what I can do. Monthly hangout, the 2 special podcasts. That's what I'll do for you. Thank you so much there, Quentin. Harry7 says, listening to this took me back 20 years because it sounded exactly like something my Baptist church would have presented. This is one of those things where they ignore a huge amount of other evidence and just focus on one thing trying to prove their position. Also, they finagle with the math in order to prove their point instead of presenting good mathematical equations and shit that actually prove whatever the reality of the situation is. I've heard similar arguments from Hovind. In fact, he came to our church way back then and preached to us. Too bad he wasn't in an orange jumpsuit and had his number prominently displayed. I can't remember what the fuck it is. I thought his ideas were pretty cool. Of course, I grew up and learned the fallacies of this and other religious arguments. It all started when I entered the workforce and began meeting heathens, who I quickly learned were not bad people. You know, that's interesting because I haven't had experience with that. Like people thinking that I'm just a bad person because I don't believe in God. But KC has had direct contact with people that have literally thought that she sacrificed small animals in the basement to Satan, a basement that we don't have and we have never had. And she said, we don't kill animals except for the armadillo. That was an accident. It was not ritualistic in any way. Harry7 says, I'm new here to this community, but I've enjoyed the journey so far. I won't take up any more time, but thanks for listening and see you next time, GE and Casey. Thank you so much there, Harry7. I really appreciate you, man. Just for that, I think I'll definitely still do the 2 podcasts a month. I can guarantee that, and the Discord channel. Sometimes I do. Cadence and the other people in the Discord will attest to I occasionally make an appearance like once or twice a month. Maybe I can guarantee at least one appearance in the Discord channel this month. Yeah, because you don't have to be on camera. Okay. What? I guess we'll see if anybody else strokes my mafia ego later on. Whoa. I feel like we're going to get censored for this. Christopher says, dude, seriously, you should give a facepalm protection warning before these kinds of videos. Fucking seriously. I think I got whiplash from that shit. Oh, and you owe me a monitor too. Glad I have a dozen of these bitches lined up just in case my fist finds its way through them. Anyway, time for ASCII, which is voluptuously asked woman. ASCII? Thank you there, Chrismer. Figured I'd give you the big booty bitch because frankly we need some unicorn chasers up in here. I don't even want to know what that means. Unicorn chaser? I feel like I need Urban Dictionary in order to define that. Anyway, remember to lick the like button, smash that subscribe button, and go ahead and join the Skeptic Mafia for the lulz, obviously, and because you want to help a fellow atheist tuber out. Besides, if you join, you can get John here to recite the entirety of the U.S. Constitution for shits and giggles. I won't do that. I'll provide you with the short one. Don't be a dick to people, and then just read the Constitution. Yeah.
The only thing blind was the unicorn.
Okay, so the big booty girl in the ASCII is the unicorn chaser, meaning It's meant to cleanse your palate, right? Okay, so what the definition of a unicorn chaser is, it serves as a cleansing of the palate after a viewer has been subjected to a distasteful internet image or experience. The example of use is, after that goat say, the only thing that could save me from going blind was a unicorn chaser, which I guess was a big booty bitch. Yep. Note, my lawyer has informed me has no obligation to actually do such things, and it would be silly to assume such things. Anyway, Star Trek is better than Star Wars. Thanks for attending my TED Talk, Christopher Oates. Oh, and if you can, head over to NASA Bunker 33 tomorrow, where Artwin is having a 24-hour stream where he'll be raising money for NF1. I won't leave the link here, but I will do so whenever John gets to reading this. Toodles, love you all. Thank you there, Christopher. Okay, I will do my best to get 3 podcasts out and say some shit in the Discord. That's what I can do. I can do my best to do those things. And the hangout. I've already committed the hangout. I'm committing a lot of shit this month. I'm just saying, like, if you become a Skeptic Mafia member, you get a lot of great perks for being in the Skeptic Mafia. I feel like it's for what it's worth a month, I feel like you get a lot of extra shit out of the channel here. It is a great community. Torbjorn Lindberg says, "Oh, my something or other, that was even stupider than the average argument from population. Numbers and maths follow the unyielding law of Geigo. So idiot inputs give even dumber results. Numbers do not lie, but it's very easy to lie with numbers." Exactly. Statistics is notorious for that. First, it's of course obvious he has deliberately chosen his numbers to get the answer that he wants, and that was a given from the start. The stupid in this case goes much further. It is so bad that someone should contact the NSPCMM, National Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Mathematics and Mathematicians. Sorry, I was trying to reenact Zach for my debate, and I just can't do it. He gets the age of Homo sapiens wrong by a factor of at least 10 millions instead of hundreds of thousands. He gets the average generational growth wrong by at least a factor of 2, 42 years instead of around 20. A growth rate of 20% per generation is not too extreme, but of course you cannot model populations with simple exponential growth. Plug the numbers in, and none of it matches neither his quoted times or his graph, which is not surprising since that uses actual populations for the last 200 years, nor does his inclusion of the flood make any sense, neither for his argument nor his maths. By his method, for example, the population of 6 billion in 2000, the population in 1900 would have to be 6 divided by blah, 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 blah numbers, 3.9 billion. So he misses it by about 300%. By that time, we reach the French Revolution. He is off by over 1,000%. That's maths worthy of an economics major or Kunthoven. Kunthoven. That's new to me, but awesome. Or a particularly stupid squirrel with its head stuck in a tree. Actually, I feel like it's I don't know if you guys have seen it, but there's a video out there of a squirrel that is chowed down on a fermented pumpkin, and he's just like drunk as shit trying to climb up a tree. That's his talk tonight. A drunk fucking squirrel trying to climb up a tree and then giving up because fuck, I'm dying. Now I feel hurt and angry on behalf of the poor innocent equations he mutilated and need to lie down for a while. Thank you there, Torbjorn. I cannot tell you how much I also loathe it. Jonathan Nickel. Near the beginning, he stated that God is the author of science. We might as well disregard everything else at this point, since he just demonstrated his confirmation bias. He is going to automatically reject anything that does not match his interpretation of Bronze Age folklore. And with more than with more front than Southend, a UK town with a popular seafront, he would declare it unscientific. A little over a minute in, he asserts that the human population has doubled every 35 years. I recall someone called into AXP a few years ago with the same claim. Their arguments never seem to change, do they? Of course, if you allow your Bible or insert holy book here to do your thinking for you, then you aren't likely to foster new ideas. That's true. And no, their arguments don't change. They spice them up with different things, and they just seem different when they're not really different. They are both wrong. I hope wherever he plucked his numbers from, he pulled his pants up afterwards. Ha ha! Gaping asshole! I called it too. The human population was stagnant for a very long time. He mentions famine, war, and disease. These were real issues, and they did not lead to an increase in population size. Quite the reverse. It doesn't matter how far he tries to project his assumed growth backwards, since his basic reasoning is incorrect. When he finds out his numbers are still too high, he tries to add in a flood that never happened. And as for once upon a time, don't apply that to science. Instead, use those words at the start of the Bible. You'll be closer to the truth. Once upon a time, God whispered an incantation, and then he took a shit on the ground and formed a man. God played with his own feces, yes. One way to help encourage a healthy, growing population: stay safe, wear your mask when you go out, and get your vaccinations. I was given my second Pfizer vaccine today. Hey, does the GPS kick in yet? Do you already have 5G service just natively in your body? Let me know. When does the sunlight kick in that's going to spray out of your mouth and your nose and your eyes and everything? I don't know what else they're saying about the vaccines. Let's conclude with a rendition of the Siamese national anthem from when Siam was a country, sung to the tune of God Save the Queen. Oh, Watana Siam. Oh, Watana Siam. Ana Siam. That song ought to be worth a shilling from GE. Okay. I think I've pretty much given everything away already from this channel, but I'll give you this too. Okay, on top of everything else I've said here, you guys can get special community posts that only you can interact with. Like voting on the video that we watch next week. That will definitely happen next week. Thank you guys. Thank you so much there, Jonathan. I appreciate it. Trickster says, I think his calculations are missing some crucial elements. Population growth is not constant. In fact, I'm sure I have heard at least one time in human history when we just almost didn't make it. Life is hard in a perfect world where so many things are trying to kill you, lest we forget the massive loss of population during the Black Death. And let's also not forget the population loss we are experiencing now. I didn't see any of that in his calculations. You can't just say, there were this many people and they multiplied, but not include the fact that they multiplied, that as they multiplied, they were also prey, fought disease, and even each other for whatever reason they were fighting. Again, didn't see any of that in his calculations. Like, subscribe, and share. Hey, you want to be able to see Friday's video early? You do? Drop a few bucks to GE, but be forewarned. He'll probably just give it away to charity. After all, that's what all of us evil fucking atheists do. He'll give you a bunch of stuff and not even make you wait for the afterlife. You get it now, including but not limited to some of the greatest emojis anywhere. That's another thing I can guarantee. Now that Trickster has also shielded for me, I can guarantee emojis in the chat. Everybody probably has been using emojis all night. You too can use emojis too. I can guarantee that you will get emojis. And the more Mafia members that we get, the more emojis I can load into this motherfucker. We're capped out right now, but you know. All right, we're getting near the end. Urban Imposter says, oh, this is probably going to be the old line from Adam and Eve to modern humanity without taking into account the four horsemen that humanity has been dealing with since the beginning of recorded history. Also, did you know Cupcake has an inflatable banana in his backyard? He calls me Dr. Peel, and that Natalie Thompson doesn't know things. I knew about the Dr. Peel. I didn't know about the Thompson thing. Vandalia 1998 says, wow, nope, no new arguments here. Even when he granted us 3 million years out of the kindness of his heart, he still started with only 2 people and then their kids. What is it with creationists and incest? I don't know. I mean, I really have no idea. We're going to start with 2 people, and then those 2 people are going to fuck each other, and then they're going to fuck their own kids, and then the kids are going to fuck each other, and then the adults are going to fuck the grandkids, and then I don't know. That's just way too much incest for me. They seem to be fine with it, though. But no, they just want, they don't want just one bottleneck. They want a bottleneck inside another bottleneck. Last year kicked our butt bad enough, but if we had the genetic diversity the Yek give us, that's young Earth creationists, give us, we would need miracles to stop any virus from wiping us all out. Just wanted to say it's good to be back commenting on these vids again. With my new work schedule, hopefully I can be more active again. And if anybody is bored tomorrow, I will have the 2 writers of The Rocks Were There at 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time on my channel. P.S. Go Star Trek! Everybody's with the Star Trek. Well, Star Wars is awesome too, okay? There's another thing that I can guarantee. An eternal fight between Star Wars and Star Trek, okay? Like, sure, Star Trek has those phasers things, but you know what can deflect phasers? Fucking lightsabers. Ba-doo, 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 and like magic, okay? Fuck phasers. Throw an octopi dick at it. Jonathan Hanachek says, no, 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 fucking no, no, fucking fuck, no, 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 fuck me, no. That's pretty succinct. Damn it, I don't know how to say it any better than one great man already said. Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get, and then a whole bunch of fails and other emojis. Can you ask Bro Cephas the next time you see him if he could do a shout out to the mafiosos and put in a non-generic shilling here? Well, that's what the alerts are for. I'll be sure to have him do an alert just for the mafiosos next time. Which there is an alert for, becoming a member, but, that kind of rarely happens when we're on a stream. Zach Clark says population disproves an old Earth. Probably more like population disproves population growth being the same throughout history. Also, my birthday was this week. Your boy can legally drink now. Holy shit. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Zach Clark. I can give you some pretty good recipes for some alcohol. I gotta tell you, Zach, Kraken, like the regular Kraken rum, not the black shit, the highest proof that you can get, Kraken rum and Sprite. You will thank me later, okay? Just, I'm telling you right now, if you can legally drink, get you some Kraken rum and some Sprite and just mix that shit together, you'll be good. Like, I love that shit. Oh yeah, if you do Sprite Zero, it'll be better for you because you save some calories. But either way, it's great. Jack and Coke is also pretty good too. Although I do have to say that I like Gentleman Jack and Coke as opposed to just regular Jack Daniels and Coke. It's a lot more mellow of a taste if you don't like the sharp. It's smoother. Yeah, it's definitely smoother. All right. Gary White says, okay, possibly a weird video, but can't wait to facepalm ahead 1,000,000 times. Drew's Book Reviews, who was one of the first ones to leave a comment today, says the populations of atheists disprove God. I might come back and edit this later. He did. Edit. Sounds like he is assuming that the population growth has always been doubling every 35 years, which is simply not true. Not much else to say, but keep on reading. Maybe you can learn some actual facts instead. I hope that he does, but he probably won't because he is a creationist dipshit. And they never learn. They willfully remain ignorant. That's going to be it for the comments tonight and everything like that. And Yeah. Oh shit! I Heart Dogs upgraded their membership. What up there, I Heart Dogs? It didn't. Oh wait.
To Timothy, what the fuck
Eric
ever? Shut the
Hamion
fuck up.
says if you reverse the warp core polarity in the graviton deflector shield, I'm sure that you could rig a phaser to disrupt the lightsaber. You know what? I don't need your fucking science, okay? I don't. All right, we'll tweak our twocks there, and we'll get the lightsabers onto we'll be like the fucking Borg with our lightsabers, okay?
There is nothing Star Wars.
No. Okay, so
They're too technological.
in Star, if you guys don't know about the Borg, basically the phasers only work on the Borg maybe a couple times. That's because the Borg can tweak their frequencies of their shields, and they can end up deflecting the phasers after they've been tweaked with the twank. What I'm saying is that the lightsabers can also be tweaked with the twank of the frequency of the laser beam, and it can be done to where it cycles through it, and you can continuously fuck with their goddamn lasers. Okay, that's all that I'm saying. Everybody cares. They mention it all the time. You know what? I don't know about that. Anyways, I really appreciate all you heathens being here. I need to go because we've got pizza coming, and that's what I was talking about earlier. Yeah, check my perfect. Sugar is at a perfect level. All right. Phaser lightsaber deflect. Yes, Lance, that's definitely it. So next week we've got a full plate. Like I said, I'm committed to doing at least 3 special Skeptic Mafia podcasts. I'm definitely gonna try to get that. I think I've got a Sunday where we can definitely do both podcasts. I can get that out in a reasonable amount of time. So possibly next week we'll actually have the Skeptic Mafia podcast, but we'll also have the Daily Bible podcast where we're in Ezekiel right now. Easy-E is giving God a lot of shit, and he's a prophet of God, and God is shoving like shit in his mouth, telling him to open wide and take it, bitch, and all this other stuff. So we got that going on. Monday, we're going to tear Brad Harrub a new asshole with his whole dinosaur idea, which is totally bullshit. And then Wednesday, we just got a video that I'm going to pull out of my ass, obviously. So, and Monday night, we got a debate. We got a full week next week. So y'all get some rest, and I guess we'll see you guys back here on Monday. I do have a video that I'm going to post tomorrow that's just a line clip. So a special Brocephus intro to it, though. So be sure to tune in for that. And I guess I will see you heathens later. Y'all have a lovely Friday night. And don't forget to stand up and use your voice. Bye, heathens.